Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're working on Project Dirtbag and we're going to install a Tru-Cool 40K transmission cooler. Join me. Alright guys, this is what we're going to be working with. It's not the actual Tru-Cool, it's a knockoff. Same, just a little different. So we're going to get this mounted up in here. I already have the AC condenser on the front side of the core support. I did that so I could recess the radiator. So this bracket has already been touched a little bit. It just doesn't bolt on the bottom anymore, which kind of kicks out the lower part of the grill shell. Still works though, still clips in. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this put behind here, behind this bracket, and see how much the bracket we got to trim out, and then figure out a way to mount this. Probably do some core support holes up. I'm going to do what I love doing on these things, is making a rib nut in here so that I don't have to use a nut and a bolt and try to fumble around with that. We're going to drill this out. Put this little guy in there. Oh, one more again. Right side bracket bent in the bench vise. Drilled out. Rounded the corners with the belt sander. About 2 minutes to do. Just bending around the shape of the contour of the AC evaporator deal. Zip around. So now that'll hold itself in there. And then we can use this. Already made marks on here. It's spaced out about 2 fingers width away at the bottom like this. So we're just going to clearance around here, and then it will go back where it needs to go. So for the bottom, I'm just going to put a bolt through the bottom here in that bottom hole. I'll hang this bracket straight down. It's going to drop down by the frame. I'm just going to mark that, bend that in the vise with a hammer at a 90. Tech screw it down to the bottom of the frame, and it will be perfect. Ish. Two seconds, bend that up. From the bottom now. Nut and bolt on there, or a washer and nut on there. That's where she lives at. I can go on the underside and tickety tack screw that in there. Here you can see how I had to kind of make a little wonky notch there, and just kind of notched a little 90 right here on either side. That allowed me to get this bracket pushed back, kind of set it back that way a little bit. This thing is securely mounted in here with these brackets, both top and bottom. Barely see them there. Put this wire harness up on top. I'm going to have to play with this a little bit once I get the grill lined up. But next we're going to take our fittings that came with the kit, like 1/2 inch NPT to 3/8 barb, something similar. So one thing I like to do on all these pipe fittings is I'll run a pipe thread sealant. I don't use tape. I don't know, reasons. Put a little bit on there, and then we'll get this started up in here on the cooler. We can start worrying about our hoses. I didn't use the hose that came with the kit. I read the reviews on them. You guys were saying that they were blowing out under pressure. I've had bad luck with these Chinese parts using the hoses that they use. It's just not the same specifications that we use. So I ordered some Evil Energy 3/8 trans cooler hose. Evil Energy is a pretty budget-minded option. I haven't had any problems with their stuff yet. Fast forward a few days, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he had mentioned that sometimes these coolers develop an air bubble when they're mounted with the fill ports to the bottom. What happens is it'll go up through the first couple rows of tubes and come across and never really make it up to the top to utilize the full length of the cooler. So what we're going to do to try to combat that, because I want to make this transmission live as long as possible while we're doing burnouts, is I flipped it around. So I turned it so that the fittings were facing up. So when you do that, this fitting that was on here was a barb fitting, comes way up here, and that little plastic piece that goes over in the grill and everything, it won't come over this. And there's just not enough room to drop it down a whole lot more with the way this bracket's designed. So I had to go online and search out some fittings, and just like everything, they're from China. This was a 5/8 18 thread. I needed a 90 on it that had a barb fitting. There was this option or another option that was twice the price and looked exactly the same, so we went with this one. The only problem I found with these is it is like almost a compression fitting. I don't know what you call that. It's an inverted flare, but when you tighten the line tube nut down or whatever, it does not want to fully seat that down in there. Like you can still swivel this little guy around. So you had to put some pressure on there, put my purse down and tighten it down, and I think I got most of it. I think this is going to seal and work out good. If it doesn't, I can always flip it around and take the chance on the air bubble, but we're going to try it this way. I did use the Evil Energy transmission oil cooler line, so that should not blow. I've had bad luck with the other one, the Chinese stuff that comes with this, that it blows out. So I ran this down underneath. The factory trans cooler lines would come up here and go to the radiator. I cut those off and used my brake flare tool and put just a little bit of a flare on there. Slid the hose over, put 2 clamps on it just to be safe because I don't want that spitting out when I'm driving. And, you know, it works great. I got the hose running up here. It is running right next to this rubber, which just by sitting here, it's got a little indentation on the line. Same thing with this one. I can get it on there. It's got a little indentation on the line, so I'm probably going to end up, you know, cutting this little piece out and maybe putting a piece of rubber hose on there just so that those lines don't pop. And, you know, we got a nice big, I'm going to call it the fake cool because it's not actually a Tru-Cool, but it's an Amazon Chinese copy. But it should work. It's got the stacked plate design as opposed to that tube and fin thing. It should be just what we need to make this thing last doing burnouts. So hopefully I helped somebody out figure out how to put these things on the front of their truck. There's many different ways to do it. This is how I did mine. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Action. On fire. I just wake up and piss excellence, and I want to go fast.
You're not first, you're last.
I was high when I said that. Did real good. Car ran real good.